You've been wasting time, pretending productivity is progress, pretending motion is meaning. But deep down, you know, time is the only true currency of power. Every second you hand to distraction is a sacrifice to weakness. Every idle scroll, every pointless conversation, every hour spent chasing comfort is a silent tribute to your own decay. The powerful understand one thing: time is either a weapon or a wound. You decide which. Machiavelli once wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The difference between victory and failure is not luck, it's timing. The wise act before emotion clouds their vision. The fool waits for permission. Stop managing time. Start weaponizing it. Every minute must serve your ascent or your elimination of obstacles, nothing in between. When you treat your hours like gold, the world begins to bend around your will. This isn't motivation, it's a warning. The clock is a predator, and every second you waste, it eats. Comment below, my time serves my power. Let's see who still commands their hours and who already been conquered. 1. The art of ruthless priority. Most men drown in options. The powerful cut through them like a blade. You don't need more time, you need a hierarchy of value carved in stone. Ruthless priority isn't about doing more, it's about doing less, with surgical precision. Every hour must serve one of two purposes: advancement or elimination. If it doesn't push you forward or destroy what holds you back, it's stealing from your throne. Machiavelli warned that indecision is the privilege of the powerless. The prince who hesitates invites vultures. The man who tries to please everyone ends up ruled by them. You cannot serve two masters. Comfort and conquest cannot coexist. Choose. Most people confuse movement with meaning. They drown in to-do lists, chase approval, and call it ambition. But true power moves in silence. It builds in solitude. It does not announce, it executes. To master time, you must betray distraction. You must say no so often it becomes that art form. Every no sharp poem your focus. Every refusal is a declaration of dominance over chaos. Ruthless priority means cutting fast, thinking cold, and never apologizing for protecting your mission. The world doesn't reward effort, it rewards precision. Time is a battlefield. Every task a soldier sends on the strong to fight. Comment below. I choose precision over chaos. Prove that you've stopped chasing everything and start mastering one thing: power. 2. The discipline of solitude. The weak fear silence. The powerful build in it. Most people can't stand being alone, because solitude exposes truth. It strips away illusions, noise, and validation. It shows them exactly who they are and what they're not. That's why they fill every quiet moment with chatter, screams, or meaningless movement. They fear facing themselves more than they fear failure. But you, if you want to rule your own life, must weaponize solitude. Machiavelli understood this well. Isolation is where strategy is born. The prince who cannot be alone with his own mind will always be ruled by the minds of others. Solitude is not loneliness, it is clarity. It is the meeting room of kings where thoughts become commands and emotions are executed for weakness. When you master solitude, you stop reacting and start engineering outcomes. Sit in silence until your inner noise breaks, until you no longer crave company, own conquest. In solitude, you build the one thing no crowd can give you: self-control. The man who governs his emotions governs his empire. Don't confuse connection with growth. Most connections drain, most people distract. The crowd will cheer for your failure before they clap for your rise. Protect your silence like a fortress. Speak less, move sharper, think colder. Remember, lions hunt alone. The herd survives, the lone predator evolves. Solitude isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's where power matures before it steps into the world. Comment below, my silence builds empires. Say it, mean it, and remember, every hour alone with your purpose is an hour closer to dominance. This is the discipline the world fears, a mind untouched, unshaken, and utterly in control. 3. Master emotional detachment. Emotions are tools, not masters. The weak man reacts, the powerful one calculates. Between stimulus and response lies a silent empire that where control lives. Every outburst, every burst of rage, every moment of despair is a leak in your fortress. The enemy doesn't need to defeat you when you hand him the key for your emotions. Machiavelli taught that a ruler must learn to appear passionate while remaining untouched within. Emotion is theater, control is truth. The man who controls his mask controls the world. You must learn to feel everything but express nothing. Anger, channel it. Fear, study it. Desire, weaponize it. Let your emotions move through you, but never let them dictate your moves. The world worships drama, but power worships discipline. People will provoke you to test your composure. They want to drag you into emotional chaos so you lose your edge. Never give them that satisfaction. When you remain calm, when your face stays unreadable, you become a mirror, reflecting their weakness back at them. Detachment is not apathy, it's intelligence. It's the ability to see the game for what it is, not what you wish it to be. Emotion blinds strategy. Detachment sharp pettit. The less you feel, the more you see. Remember this: every time you react, someone else is pulling your strings. But when you stop reacting, when you respond with thought, not feeling, you cut the strings. You become untouchable. Machiavelli would say it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Understand this: to be feared, you must first be immune to your own feelings. Fearly men are not emotionless. They're simply ungoverned by them. Practice cold observation. Watch people. Listen to their words, but study their intentions. See their emotional weaknesses and learn from them. Use yours as lessons, not liabilities. Detachment is the armor of kings. It keeps your mind clear when the world burns. It makes your decisions clean when others drown in impulse. Comment below: I master emotion. Emotion does not master me. Let it be your creed, your mental armor, your mark of cold power. Because when you learn to detach, you stop bleeding energy and you start commanding reality. 4. The power of strategic relationships. No empire stands alone, but not every alliance deserves your hand. Power thrives on strategy, and strategy thrives on people. The wise don't surround themselves with friends. They surround themselves with assets. Every relationship must serve a purpose: information, influence, or execution. Anything else is a luxury for the weak. Machiavelli warned that loyalty built on love will fail when pressure rises, but loyalty built on fear and respect will hold under fire. Understand this: people are loyal only when it serves them. The moment you stop being useful, they look for a stronger king to foe. That not cruelty, that nature. Learn to read intent, not words. When someone flatters you, ask yourself, what do they want? When they agree too easily, ask, what are they hiding? Paranoia is not weakness, it's protection. The naive call it cynicism. The powerful call it survival. Build alliances based on value, not emotion. Keep allies close enough to you, but far enough to control. Never depend fully on anyone. Dependence is the leash the world will use to choke you. Be generous strategically. Give that enough to make others believe they're winning. Let them taste victory while you hold the battlefield. And when betrayal told, and it always does, do not rage, expect it, plan for it, anticipate the knife before it reaches your back. Forgive nothing, forget nothing, but show nothing. The master of relationships doesn't seek connection, he builds networks. He doesn't crave approval, he earns leverage. The powerful man studies loyalty as a currency, not a virtue. He rewards it when it's profitable and withdraws it when it's wasted. To control others, you must first control the need for them. The less you depend, the more you dominate. Comment below: I build alliances, not attachments. Say it with intent, because when you start treating relationships like chess, not chance, you stop losing pieces and start winning kingdoms. This is the Machiavellian way. Influence quietly, observe constantly, and strike only when the board is yours. Power moves through people, but it always belongs to the one who understands them best. 5. The psychology of perception and control. Power isn't just about what you are, it's about what others believe you are. Perception is the invisible throne. You can be strong, intelligent, and capable, but if others don't perceive it, your power doesn't exist. In the theater of dominance, image is armor. The mind of the crowd is your battlefield. Learn to control what they see, and you'll never need to explain what you do. Machiavelli knew this truth well. Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. People don't want the truth, they want certainty. They don't care if you're right, they care if you look unshakable. Confidence is a weapon sharper than any sword. The moment you look uncertain, they smell weakness. Every move you read, every word you speak, every silence you hold, it paints an image. The powerful understand this. They design their presence deliberately. Their posture commands, their tone cuts, their calm unnerves. Control perception by mastering contrast. Be quiet when others shout. Be still when others panic. Be strategic when others rush. In chaos, the man who remains centered becomes the axis of control. Never reveal your entire hand. Mystery is magnetic. People fear what they cannot predict. Let them see fragments, never the full design. The unknown version of you is always stronger than the explained one. Machiavelli advised rulers to be both the lion and the fox, fierce when needed, cunning always. appear just moral enough to disarm suspicion, yet dangerous enough to command respect. If you must deceive, do it gracefully. The world rewards the illusion of virtue more than the practice of it. Understand the paradox: authenticity is a weapon only when it's chosen, not exposed. Be real by intent, not by impulse. If you bleed honesty to everyone, they'll ease it to map your weaknesses. If you choose when to reveal, you own the narrative. The crowd doesn't follow truth, it follows confidence, dominance, and consistency. That's the psychology of control. Show them composure under fire, and they'll assume invincibility. Show them self-command, and they'll hand you authority willingly. In the end, you don't need to convince the world you're powerful, you just need them to feel it. Presence is more persuasive than proof. Power isn't loud, it's gravitational. Remember, influence begins when explanation ends. Let your silence intimidate, let your restraint speak, let your certainty shape their imagination. Comment below: I control perception, I control power. Say it to remind yourself you are no longer reacting to the world judgment, you are designing it. The man who masters perception doesn't chase power, he becomes it. 6. The calculated use of fear. Fear is not chaos, fear is control. The naive think fear is the enemy of power. The wise know it one of its greatest allies. Fear is the language of the primitive mind, and every human being, no matter how civilized, still speaks it. To rule emotion, you must understand it. To influence others, you must learn to speak through it. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Most people never understand why. Love creates comfort, fear creates obedience. Love fades when convenience ends. Fear endures because it commands respect long after admiration dies. Fear doesn't mean terror, it means consequence. The powerful are not cruel, they are consistent. People must know that crossing you has a cost. Without that cost, your words are hollow. Fear gives your silence weight. The weak seek approval, the powerful seek recognition. You don't want them to love you, you want them to measure their tone before speaking your name. That's the difference between popularity and power. But here's the key: uncontrolled fear turns into chaos. Weaponized fear breeds respect. You must calibrate it like a blade. Too much and people revolt, too little and they forget who leads. True mastery lies in balance, the art of making others respect your strength without needing to display it. Your presence should make people straighten their posture. Your silence should make them explain themselves. The moment they start defending their actions around you, fear has done its job. Quietly, invisibly, efficiently. Machiavelli warned rulers never to rely on mercy to maintain order. Mercy without consequence invites manipulation. The one who forgives too often becomes predictable, and predictability breeds contempt. Understand this: fear is not about aggression, it's about aura. It's the tension others feel when they realize you're not easily moved, not easily pleased, not easily broken. It's not about shouting louder, it's about being unshakable longer. To fear effectively, you must first become immune to it. The man who fears nothing, not rejection, not isolation, not loss, becomes untouchable. Society controls people through fear. Break that chain and you stop reacting, you start commanding. The powerful do not intimidate by accident. Their every word, every pause, every calculated delay, it creates anticipation. Anticipation becomes anxiety. Anxiety becomes respect. When you walk into a room, don't try to be liked. Let your stillness do the talking. Speak slowly. Observe more than you answer. People will fill the silence with their insecurities. That's how dominance begins, without raising a voice or lifting a finger. Fear doesn't have to be hostility. It can be awe. It can be mystery. It can be quiet uncertainty that keeps us guessing, never fully comfortable. The more unpredictable you are, the more stable your control becomes. Remember this truth: love may inspire loyalty, but fear maintains it. Love can be faked, fear cannot. Love ends when comfort fades, fear remains when logic fails. You don't create fear to harm others, you create it to protect what you've built: your time, your respect, your peace. Comment below: I command fear, fear does not command me. Say it with conviction. Because the man who learns to rule fear within himself and in others no longer chases power. He embodies it. 7. The art of controlled aggression. Aggression is not anger, it's directed force. The world has taught men to suppress their aggression, to dull the very edge that once carved empires. Society whispers that calm means harmless, that gentleness means virtue. But the truth is this: Aggression, when mastered, is pure energy, the raw current of dominance, progress, and creation. The difference between a conqueror and a criminal is control. Machiavelli understood that power requires force, not constant reckless violence, but the willingness to act decisively when others hesitate. The man who hesitates in battle is already dead. The man who strikes with clarity is already feared. Controlled aggression is the discipline of movement, fast, deliberate, unshaken. Look around you. Most people exist in paralysis. They overthink, overfeel, and underact. They drown in hesitation. But aggression, when channeled, cuts through stagnation. It the courage to confront, to execute, to move without apology. It what separates those who wish from those who win. Controlled aggression is the art of being still until action is required, and then unleashing precision like a blade. It not chaos, it order in motion. It the lion who waits in silence before the strike. The weak man mistakes aggression for rage. He explodes and collapses. The strong man converts aggression into momentum. His move is surgical, his timing ruthless. He doesn't waste power, he channels it. Machiavelli taught that men must learn to be both the fox and the lion, cunning in deception, brutal in execution. But aggression is the bridge between both. Without it, cunning stays theoretical and power remains potential. Aggression turns thought into domination. You must learn to summon your aggression on command, not emotionally, but tactic. Train yourself to feel that fire rise and then direct it. Use it in your workouts, your business, your conversations, your discipline. Let it sharpen you, not destroy you. The key is control. Unchecked aggression burns empires. Controlled aggression builds them. You must remain composed, but never passive. Passive men decay slowly, eaten alive by hesitation and resentment. Controlled aggression is the antidote to decay. It the decision to act when the rest of the world debates. When you master it, your presence shifts. You move differently. People feel the quiet danger beneath your calm. They sense that you are capable, and that capability breeds respect. You don't need to threaten anyone. You only need to exist with intent. That's enough. Remember, the universe doesn't reward neutrality. Nature itself is aggressive. Trees rake through rock, rivers carve mountains, lions hunt without apology. Everything powerful claims space. Only humans are taught to ask for permission before moving. Controlled aggression means never apologizing for your ambition. It means refusing to shrink to make others comfortable. It means owning your masculine fire without losing your logic. That is balance, the kind kings and conquerors once lived by. You are meant to be safe. You are meant to be strong, strategic, and self-contained. Aggression is the heartbeat of power. When guided by discipline, it becomes unstoppable. Never suppress it. Refine it. Turn it into a silent weapon that cuts through complacency. Every great leader, from Caesar to Napoleon, understood this truth. The calmest minds often hide the fiercest aggression. When you act with controlled intensity, the world adapts to your pace. You stop being reactive and start being catalytic. You become the one who sets the tone. Comment below, "My calm hides my fire." Let that be your mantra, a reminder that beneath your composure lies unstoppable drive. The world fears a man who controls his aggression because he cannot be manipulated. He is unpredictable, relentless, and grounded. And when you master that balance, when your aggression becomes pure precision, you no longer chase power, you move through the world at its source. 8. The law of adaptability and strategic change. The strongest don't survive. The most adaptable do. History buries men who refuse to evolve. They built their thrones on fixed beliefs and taught its strength. But the truth is brutal. Rigidity is slow death. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He warned rulers that fortune favors the flexible, not the stubborn. The man who cannot change dretch, when the wind shift, loses everything he built. Adaptability is not weakness, it's intelligence weaponized. It's the ability to adjust your mask, your method, your entire strategy without losing your essence. The river doesn't fight the rock, it bends, flows, and carves through it over time. That power. You must learn to move like water, but think thick iron. Change tactics when you must, but never your goal. Principles are your foundation. Methods are your tools. Only fools confuse one for the other. The Machiavellian mind treats life like a chessboard. Each move is temporary, but every pattern is intentional. When circumstances shift, you shift faster. When the environment changes, you adapt before others even notice. That is how power evolves, silently, efficiently, ruthlessly. Adaptability means studying your failures with the same discipline as your victories. Every defeat hides a lesson. Every setback reveals a blind spot. The weak run from change because it exposes their fragility. The strong embrace it because it reveals their next form. Most people crave consistency because it gives them the illusion of control. But the man who can adapt to chaos doesn't need illusions. He controls reality itself. That the paradox, flexibility feels uncertain to the fearful, but it pure dominance to the wise. Machiavelli warned that fortune is like a violent river. When it floods, the unprepared drown. But those who've built walls of discipline and bridges of adaptability use the flood to expand their reach. Be unpredictable. Let no one define your next move. The world expects patterns, rake them. Change your tone. Change your rhythm. Keep evolving so fast that people can't place you. The mysterious man commands respect because unpredictability equals control. Adaptability also means emotional flexibility. Never tie your identity to a C version of yourself. Reinvent though needed. Become the man required for the mission ahead. One day cold, one day charming. One day the strategist, one day the executioner. To the outworld, it looks like contradiction. To you, it precision. The weak cling to old versions of themselves. The powerful shed skin like a serpent. They upgrade. They rebuild. They don't fear the end of one chapter because they've already planned the next. Every powerful man understands this law. Evolution is painful, but stagnation is fatal. You must constantly burn your old limits to light your next stage. Growth demands destruction. To adapt is to conquer time itself. When others resist change, they age faster, mentally, emotionally, strategically. But the adaptable man stays dangerous, relevant, and calm, no matter what collapses around him. Machiavelli said that fortune favors the bold, but boldness is not recklessness. It's the confidence to evolve without losing your foundation. You remain constant in purpose, but fluid in execution. Stop fearing reinvention. Fear irrelevance. Stop resisting transformation. Resistance is what breaks the unprepared. Change is not your enemy, it's your weapon. When you learn to bend, you cannot be broken. Adaptability all means reading people, not reacting to them. When someone shifts their tone, shift your energy to match or disarm it. When the environment grows hostile, go silent. Let others exhaust their emotion while you calculate their weakness. The adaptable man becomes invisible when needed, visible when it benefits him, and untouchable at times. He not chasing control, he becoming it. Adaptability isn't chaos. It's strategic fluidity. It's the ability to change your form without changing your core. Like water taking shape in any container, it always water, yet always different. That true mastery. Comment below. I evolve faster than the world. Because the man who adapts doesn't chase trends, he sets them. He doesn't fear the unknown, he shapes it. Remember this: strength resists, power adapts. The world will always belong to those who can transform faster than it changes. Be ruthless with your reinvention. Become unpredictable, unstoppable, untouched. Because when you master adaptability, nothing can rake you. You become time's favorite weapon. The power of patience and long-term strategy. The impulsive chase victory, the patient design empires. Power is not built in noise, it's built in time, in the quiet stretches where the world thinks you've disappeared. The men who rise fastest burn furt. The men who rise slowly build foundations that cannot be shaken. Machiavelli knew this: he who builds on the people builds on mud. He meant that popularity fades, but structure lasts. Patience is the weapon that turns chaos into opportunity. It is the discipline of the mind that refuses to be rushed. Every man is tested not by how he acts under fire, but by how long he can hold position while others panic. The powerful do not move impulsively. They wait, they study patterns, they measure time the way a sniper measures distance, slowly, coldly, deliberately. The fool rushes to act. The wise man waits for the perfect moment to strike. Long-term strategy begins with restraint. Every emotion that demands urgency, anger, fear, excitement, is a trap. The crowd moves by impulse. The strategist moves by timeline. He thinks in decades, not days. He invests where others consume. He sacrifices now to dominate later. Machiavelli wrote that fortune must be subdued like a woman, not with gentleness, but with persistence. What he meant is that life bends to those who endure. Timing is everything. Most people lose not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack patience. They want results faster than reality allows. The powerful understand that patience is not passive. It's active waiting, thinking, preparing, positioning. Every quiet day is a step in the architecture of dominance. While others chase instant gratification, you must be building invisible leverage. The modern world worships speed, but speed kills precision. Every great ruler, every true leader knew how to slow time. They made the world move at their pace. That's what real power is, not movement, but control of momentum. Patience gives birth to clarity. Clarity gives birth to timing. Timing gives birth to dominance. This is the trinity of long-term power. Your patience must be cruel. It must look like indifference. When someone insults you, you do not react, you calculate. When you lose, you do not despair, you rebuild. When opportunity fades, you do not chase it, you create the next one. That is the Machiavellian mind. It plays chess while others are still fighting over checkers. The patient man sees every insult as data, every failure as direction, every delay a redirection. He knows that life bends toward those who could wait without wasting time. The world belongs to those who could think long enough to outlast emotion. Empires are not built on talent, they are built on endurance. You must become a strategist of time. A man who moves only when it matters. Patience also gives power over people. Most men crave reaction. They need you to respond so they feel relevant. Your silence denies them that oxygen. The longer you withhold it, the more control you gain. When you can delay gratification, you become unpredictable. Unpredictability equals leverage. Others play for the moment, you play for the decade. When they finally realize you're there, it's already too late. Patience protects you from manipulation. The manipulator feeds on urgency. Decide now, back fast, don't think. But you think, you wait, you analyze. That calm terrifies them because they can't control what they can't rush. Machiavelli said that a wise prince must always pay for the worst while hoping for the best. That is long-term psychology. Assume betrayal, expect storms, and prepare for both. Every setback is a forecast, not a failure. Build your life for a fortress. Every brick laid with intention, every delay accepted day design. Patience transforms every disadvantage into data. It turns uncertainty into mastery. The man who knows how to wait eventually wins by default, because everyone quits. When you're patient, you stop chasing opportunity. Opportunity begins to orbit you. Your consistency becomes gravity, that when you move from ambition to inevitability. The weak will call you cold. They will say you're detached, but they won't understand that patience is emotional armor, the proof that you control your impulses rather than letting them own you. Patience does not mean inaction, it means choosing your moment. Waiting is not wasting. The only wasted time is time spent reacting. Every second spent in preparation, reflection, or self-control is an investment that multiplies. Comment below, I wait, I build. Because that's what separates rulers from dreamers, the ability to hold silence while the world screams for attention. Remember this truth. Fortune favors those who last longer than their enemies. Power is not about how hard you strike, but how long you can hold your position. The storm eventually passes, and when it does, only the fortress of patience still stands. Be that fortress, cold, silent, unmoved. Because when you master patience, you stop chasing power, and you start becoming time itself. 10. The final doctrine. Becoming untouchable. To become untouchable is to transcend the reach of chaos. Not because you hide from it, but because you have mastered yourself so completely that no force can shake your foundation. This is the final law, the last threshold. The point where the world stops being your cage and becomes your chessboard. Every philosophy of power, every strategy, every discipline leads thee to inner sovereignty. You cannot command the external until you dominate the internal. The man who controls his emotions, his focus, his energy, and his time becomes a ghost in the machine, seen by all, but moved by none. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He wrote for rulers surrounded by betrayal, manipulation, and blood, yet his message was timeless. Control perception, master emotion, command fear, ease change, and build yourself into something that cannot be broken. Being untouchable doesn't mean isolation, it means independence. It means you can walk through fire and remain composed. You can lose everything material and still move forward without panic. You can be hated, envied, targeted, you remain unshaken. Because your identity is forged from something no one can take. Weak men build their worth on validation. Strong men build theirs on silence. When your peace no longer depends on approval, you enter a realm of absolute freedom. The crowd cannot cancel what it cannot control. To become untouchable, you must master 3 domains. First, the mind. Guard it like a fortress. Feed it knowledge, not noise. Every thought you allow inside shapes your reality. Most people let their minds become playgrounds for other people's fears. But your mind must be a war room, silent, strategic, disciplined. No random emotion, no careless thought, no external drama should beat your walls. Second, the energy. Your energy is currency. Spend it with calculation. Don't scatter it across meaningless battles. The powerful conserve strength. They choose their wars carefully, then strike with overwhelming precision. Never reveal your full fire. Make the world earn your intensity. Third, the time. You no longer waste time chasing attention or reacting to gossip. You spend it build systems that multiply without you. Time spent in mastery pays infinite returns. Time spent in distraction buys regret. To become untouchable, you must eliminate your dependency on chaos. The world will constantly try to pull you into its rhythm, outrage, competition, noise. But you are no longer part of that theater. You observe, you adapt, you respond only when it benefits your design. Machiavelli warned rulers never to fight battles they couldn't win or didn't need to. That applies to your daily life. The untouchable man chooses his conflicts with surgical awareness. He lets fools destroy each other while he remains focused on legacy. You will be tested. The higher you rise, the more the weak will try to provoke you. They will insult, question, and misjudge you, hoping to see a reaction. Give them nothing. Your calm is your superiority. Your silence is their defeat. Becoming untouchable doesn't mean emotionless. It means emotionally bulletproof. You feel, but you are not enslaved by feeling. You adapt, but never lose direction. You act, but never lose control. This is not about arrogance, it's about evolution. You are not art to impress the world. You are rare to outlast it. Remember, the most dangerous man in any room is the one who has nothing to prove. He moves with quiet purpose, speaks only when needed, and executes with perfect timing. He doesn't chase validation, he generates results. The world will call you cold. Let them. The lion doesn't explain himself to sheep. Compassion has its place, but sentimentality kills kings. Learn when to care and when to cut. That real strength. Your mission now is simple. Build a life so stable that chaos becomes background noise. A body forged through discipline, a mind sharpened through solitude, a network built through precision, a legacy written through patience. Comment below. I am untouchable. Say it not as a boast, but as a declaration. Because to be untouchable is not to escape struggle, it's to dominate it. You've learned the Machiavellian laws, time as a weapon, priorities as filters, solitude as power, emotion as tool, fear as leverage, aggression as energy, adaptability as armor, patience as strength. All paths lead there to unshakable composure and absolute internal control. And when you reach this state, life changes. Opportunities chase you, people respect you, enemies hesitate before your name, because they feel something they can't describe, your unbreakable presence. You don't demand loyalty, you command it. You don't seek influence, you exude. You don't try to win, you simply cannot lose. That is the final doctrine, the end of weakness, the beginning of reign. Comment one last time. I am the fortress, and if this voice spoke to something deep inside you, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the world may try to touch you, but from this moment forward, it never will again. Because to be untouchable is not to escape struggle, it's to dominate it. You've learned the Machiavellian laws. Time as a weapon, priorities as filters, solitude as power, emotion as tool, fear as leverage, aggression as energy, adaptability as armor, patience as strength. All paths lead to unshakable composure and absolute internal control. And when you reach this state, life changes. Opportunities chase you, people respect you, enemies hesitate before your name because they feel something they can't describe, your unbreakable presence. You don't demand loyalty, you command it. You don't seek influence, you exude. You don't try to win, you simply cannot lose. That is the final doctrine, the end of weakness, the beginning of reign. Comment one last time. I am the fortress. And if this voice spoke to something deep inside you, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the world may try to touch you, but from this moment forward, it never will again.